Hello and good morning everyone. Thank you for coming to join me this Saturday morning. Please excuse my throat. I've got an awful cold that's I've been bugging me all week, so my voice keeps coming and going, so please bear with me. I'm just here to do a flip through of my Halloween journal, and if you remember, the kits that I've used for this are from Andrea Allen, that's Artymaze, and I've mainly used her Halloween kit from this year, but I've also used her previous Gothic kit in it a little bit as well. Sorry, I'm really breathless with this cold. So this measures, excuse me, this measures approximately 6.5 wide, and it's just under 9 inches tall. Couple of things going on. I decided what I did with it, excuse me, to make the cover. I've woven some fabrics and then I've stitched on them, and I have got a video of how I weave the fabric journals, and I will put a link to that below, so that you can have a look at it if you're interested in how I do the woven covers. And for the cover I used different deep kind of purpley colours and black, and then I found this piece of black lace that I think previously had been the collar of something. So it's got some different stitching, machine stitching on here. And it's got one signature, and there are at least 80 pages in it, in the front and in the back, you know, counting both sides. I've put this dangle on it, and it's like, I thought it was kind of a bit Halloweeny Gothic. It's like a little rose, well it is a little rose, and some little black beads and a little heart, and it's kind of copper colours, which I thought went quite nicely, excuse me, with the cover. And I've closed it with black lace. Not black lace, black organza ribbon. It is quite chunky. I don't know if you can tell from that, but it is quite full. This little booklet I actually made to go in the envelope in the back pocket, but it can go anywhere. It's just excuse me, the journal was getting quite bulky, so I ended up, it's got my lovely little bat lady on the front, look, I ended up just putting it here in the front cover, but of course with all the ephemera you can put it wherever you want to. So that's just some extra bits and pieces. This is from Andrea's previous kit, so it's just little bits and pieces of paper that I had left over that I've put in there that you can use to either write in or use to further decorate, and then they've just got some little black beads on it. I'm also going to include this that I made, and this was, I was just kind of playing around. A lot of people have been making these kind of ephemera holders. I'm not sure what you'd call them. The ones that I've seen are mostly in shabby chic type, excuse me, shabby chic papers, and I was just playing about trying to get in the mood for Halloween when I made it. So I've made mine with Halloween papers, again from Andrea. So it's 2 envelopes and I've opened one envelope, which is this one that has the flaps, and then that's the flap that would have closed the would have made the envelope, if you see what I mean. And then on the back, I've also put another envelope, which is this one. So that's the second envelope. And I've made that into a tuck spot just there. And then it's got a little pocket on the back that opens up. Now, I haven't decorated this, but I've included bits and pieces of ephemera that I had left over. So whoever has this can use all these little bits and pieces, all these little snips, and the extra journaling cards that I hadn't used, and they can decorate this themselves and have some fun with that. So I thought that might be a fun thing to do. And then it just closes, excuse me, it just closes up. So I'm just going to include that as well, because it seemed to go with it. Okay, so going on the inside, let's have a look on the inside. As I say, it did get quite chunky. You could put the bits and pieces that I've put in these pockets, you could certainly put them in the journal, you know, there's nothing to stop you from doing it. So this is the little ephemera holder that I made out of the one piece of paper. So it's got to put a label at the front and some lace, and then it's got one of Andrea's tags just there, and I've put the 2 little Tim Holtz boys on it, and that's backed. It's got a card that goes in the top, and then there's a card that goes in the back as well. And then if you remember, it just tucks into itself. So it opens up. So you've got room to write on that. So it's a full piece of A4 that we folded. Oopsie daisy. And then I just tucked one inside the other to keep it closed. And that was a variation on the one that I saw Rachel from Roxy's Creations do. So they just go back in there. And that pocket just there. So I've just tucked that in there in the front. But again, it can go anywhere you want in the journal. Excuse me. The front page, I've put some of my fabric strips that I make. And I think on one of the videos in this series, I just showed quickly how I put mine together. There's quite a few people that make those. We did this envelope together. So that's one of the Tim Holtz ladies. And I used the moth from Andrea. And I don't know if she's put these on her Ko-fi site yet. But she told me that the big moths are definitely going on her Ko-fi site. So have a look for those. So that opens out. And there's a journaling card just there. And then there's a little tuck spot journaling card that goes in there as well. My coffee dyed or tea dyed papers. And it says there, the pace quickens. And again, one of those moths. One of Andrea's labels. And I've just sewn some black cotton on the bottom of that. We did this together as well. And that flips out. And there's some extra writing space on just there. Sorry, I'll try and speed up because I think my voice is going to go again. And that just flips out. This paper with the skulls on is from Andrea's previous kit, the Gothic kit. This is her Halloween paper. And then I think we did this together, so that just catches under there. So it is a little bit of a tuck spot, but I haven't put anything in there because it's glued kind of to there. But you can write on that. That just tucks underneath, and then there is a tuck spot in the back of it, and I've just added a piece of extra paper in there and put one of her journaling cards on the front of that. This I've put some black lace on, and you can use it as a tuck spot if you want to. I've not put anything in it, but that can certainly be used as a tuck. Big journaling card in there, and this is from Andrea's Gothic kit that came out, I think it was either last year or the year before, and I've just put the skull on it and one of her journal cards on there. The quote is what I had left over. They're from Mrs. Cog, and they were her Edgar Allan Poe quotes, so I had a few of those left over. Lots of writing space. One of the journaling cards on there. I've added this skull and the word toxic on there. And that just flips out. And then it isn't a pocket. I've closed it, but that's somewhere that you could either write something or put an image or something on there. And then you've still got that to write on. The window envelope that I decorated. The top tuck. I think we did those together as well. And then that one is the flip, so it flips out that way, and there's a tuck spot just under there as well. I love that bat. I do like bats, I have to say. Then I've just put some of the fussy cut images that she has in the kit on there, and some of the paper I've just put over the edge of that. And I've just done some fussy cutting there. I loved the red, how that red paper, pink paper, whatever colour it is, how it went with that page, so I've left it, but you can certainly write on this with a black pen without any problem. This, if you remember, I was debating whether to leave it as a top pocket, or glue it on and have it as a side tuck, and in the end what I chose to do was have it as a flip, because I didn't want to cover too many pages up, because I wanted to leave lots of space to write. So I did it as a flip. There's no reason why that is just folded over the top. So if you were to cut the top of there, you could have that as a tuck spot and put something into it for sure. I don't see why you couldn't. Just be careful when you cut it. But I liked it as a tuck spot, as a flip out, so you can still write on there. I've put a pocket just there, goes in there, and then I've put a pocket there. So there's lots of extra writing space in there. So that's what I chose to do with that. And then the raven, I think, is eyeing up that raven there. Again, there's a window envelope just there that I put the trim on at the top that I'd made. And then that just flips open. And you can write on this. There's a tag in there that says poison. And I've put one of Andrea's journal cards on there with the bats. And that bat's watching those fly around. And then that flips out. Then this is just papers that I had left over that I've just stitched around, and then I've glued them on this page, and then you can write on those if you wanted to. And then I've left that plain for whoever gets it to do what they want with. And that flips out there. And then in the middle of the journal, I've put one of the envelopes. And again, I had lots and lots of stuff left over. So I've included some of the numbers that I had left over. There's one of the moths, there's a couple of quotes that I haven't used, some of Andrea's labels, and I had a little, one of the bigger moths, and I had some of the strip of the, I don't know what you call it, my brain's not working, folks, I'm really sorry, but I had a bit of this left over, so I've included that as well, and I've just put all of those in there, and then, you know, you can use those to decorate the journal further if you want to. I just thought, you know, the few little bits and pieces I had left over, I just wanted to include them with the journal. It seemed right. That flips out there. I love that skeleton. He looks very sad. And then again, I've just put the papers on there that you can write on, or you could put a picture on or whatever, and then left that. Skeleton's there, and that says RIP. Then this again, I've put a tuck spot just there with the lace, and that goes all the way through. And I've included, in this, I've included some of the papers that I had left over. You can see how I utilise when I have to do a test print on my printer. I use it to print for collaging. So I've included these papers. I mean, you can still write on the back of that if you wanted to, but I thought it might be nice to include these so that somebody can use them to collage further in the book, or they can use it as a notepad. And that, did I stick it down? No, it does come out. So you can always add something else to it. If you wanted to take those papers out, you could add something else just there. It goes in there. And then that flips out that way. And then there's a pocket just there. These aren't in the kit, these papers, but they're from one of Andrea's collage papers. And she does them in very faint background, a bit darker and a bit darker, so they're really, I like to use those a lot as well. And then this is the page that we did together, and I've put the tags in there now. So we've got that one in there, and then we've put the skeleton one in there, and it says 100,000 reward, the murderer is still at large. And I just thought I'd put the image of that lady on there because it went with all the poison and all the medicinal adverts on there for dangerous medicines. And I just thought that page looked nice. And again, I've put one of my trims on there. I have left all the threads. There are all the threads dangling. So whoever gets this, if you don't like them, just snip them off. Not a problem. I just liked them on this journal. A journaling card there. And then I think I decorated this one with you. And then I did it as a flip up. So you can stick something on here if you want to. And then that is a piece of paper that just pulls down and lifts out. And then I put some of the black eyelet cotton fabric on there. The back with that red. Another one of the labels just there. Then that is a journaling card in there. I love that one. That's some of Andrea's, I think it was from her, from one of her autumn kits, but the colours just went so nicely that I used it on that as well. And then that was the tall thin pocket. That's just there. Then the back, the top tuck again, with the journaling card in. These ones are Andrea's gel plate papers, but again the colours just went nicely, so I used them to back with. This I think we did together, so that flips out, so you've got all that journaling space there. And then there's another envelope here, and I might have, yeah, I've just put some extra bits and pieces again in there that I had left over. So they're all in there. That just goes behind that bit of lace. And then in the back there I made a pocket and put a tag in there. This is a corner fold pocket, and then I folded it again so that it's got a little pocket just here. And then a journal card in there. And that flips out. And then again in here we've got one of the tall tags in there. Ooh, a little bit of thread. Threads get, honestly, they do get everywhere, don't they? It just tucks, it doesn't tick, it tucks in there. And then again I've just put that lace trim on the back there. That flips out, and we've got a little pocket on the back, and that says County Coroner on there. I'm trying to think where these were from. I want to say tailor-made journals, because I did have some Halloween bits and pieces cut out from last year or the year before. So that could have been from there. And then in there I've put some extra journaling space on there. So that just doubles up. Oopsie. And then we've got a page there. And then this is the back page where I had made this to go in here. So this is a black envelope that I had. I've made a journal card to go in it, but obviously you could put that journaling card anywhere. And I had made that to go in there, but it just made it so bulky. It just felt too bulky for me, so that's why I put it in the front. So can't get that back in there now, look. So journaling card just there. I've put the lady on there. She reminds me of Mrs. Havisham, or Miss Havisham in Great Expectations, that lady, and I think that's what drew me to use her. And again, I've put the wings on it, and then that flips out, and we've got the red. I think that's one of Andrea's autumn papers as well. But the colours again just all went, and then that was from her previous last year's kit. And so's that one, the black rose. And then that goes in there. And then in the back, we've got this little tuck that I made. And so that's just a piece of I don't think it's quite A4 paper. I think I cut it down. But I put an image on the front and just folded it. I had a little tear in the paper, so I've just stuck some sellotape over there. So that just folds up and over. And sorry, I'm at a funny angle and I've got a headache. Feeling sorry for myself today. So that just tucks in there, some nice hidden journaling space. So that is my Halloween Gothic, call it what you will, journal. I love how the cover turned out. I hope that the camera is picking it up with the different stitching and the different fabrics. And as I say, it was the woven technique that you use. And somebody asked me when I did one of these, or I did a couple of these previously, the woven journal covers, and somebody asked me, once you've woven it, what do you do with it? Well, once you've woven it and stitched on it, you use it the same as you would any other piece of fabric. So that's what I did. I just made it into a journal cover, folded it over and stitched it. The way that I make my journals. I think I've got a few videos on how I make my soft cover journals. So if you're stuck, give me a shout. I'm always happy to answer any questions. I will have listed this journal for sale on my Etsy store before this video goes live. There were a few people asking me about it. So just to let you know that when this video goes out, it will already be listed in my Etsy store. So thank you so much. And Andrea, I have loved working with this kit. I really have. And I hope that you all like what I've done with it. So yeah, that's my Halloween journal. So thanks very much, you folks. And I'll catch you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.